Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss very important topic of fourth chapter, that is chemical bonding and molecular structure. So far we have discussed octet rule and how covalent bond formation takes place on the basis of this rule. In this we have seen that according to octet rule, every atom participating in the bond formation, whether it is ionic bond formed by transfer of electron or it is a covalent bond formed by sharing of electron. So in any type of chemical bond formation, the participating atom will try to complete its octet in the outermost orbit, and that is how it will try to gain its nearest inert gas configuration in order to achieve stability. Clear? So this is what is octet rule all about. Now on the basis of octet rule, we discussed covalent bond and also some of the examples. Today we are going to discuss what are the limitations or exceptions to octet rule. In this we are going to discuss that octet rule is not a universal rule. It is not applicable to all the types of compounds, because there are many compounds in which though the octet is not complete for the participating atom, but the molecule is very stable. The simple and very common example is of hydrogen. We know that hydrogen has only one valence electron, and whether it transfers its electron or it shares its electron with any other atom, then also it can attain helium-like configuration. It can never have octet, it can never have 8 electrons in the outermost orbit in any type of chemical bond. Then also it forms stable molecules like hydrogen chloride, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid. Most common is water. In all these compounds, in every compound of hydrogen, there is the octet of hydrogen is never complete. There are only 2 electrons in the valence orbit of hydrogen. Even then, the compounds formed by hydrogen are very, very stable compounds. Clear? So this point is not given in the book, but for your understanding, for your knowledge, I have discussed that. Now let us come to the point according to the textbook, whatever are limitation discussed here. First one is incomplete octet of central atom. We have also discussed that whenever there is a polyatomic molecule, there is one atom which is generally the electronegative element which occupies a central position. Clear? So here whenever we are going to talk about those compounds in which the central atom will not complete its octet, even then it will form stable molecule. Clear? This is generally possible when the element has less than 4 valence electrons. Hydrogen is one of them. Other elements are lithium, beryllium and boron. These elements have 1, 2 and 3 valence electrons respectively. Clear? It means that when they form compound with the other element, lithium has only 1 electron to share. So lithium chloride, LiCl, in which chlorine and lithium both will share their valence unpaired electron with each other and form the compound in which you can see the octet of chlorine is complete, but that of lithium is not complete. Lithium has configuration 1s2, 2s1. So in 2s orbital it can have only 2 electrons. 2p orbitals are still vacant. So though octet of lithium is not complete, even then lithium chloride is a stable molecule. Another example is of beryllium. Beryllium has 2 unpaired valence electrons. Actually, the valence electrons of beryllium are present in a 2s orbital and they are present as electron pair. But as and when required, this electron pair can be unpaired. Clear? So here beryllium when combines with 2 hydrogen atoms, then both hydrogen atom will share their 1 valence electron with 2 valence electrons of beryllium. In doing so, you can see here hydrogen will have 2 electrons. Both the hydrogen will have 2 electrons, means a helium like configuration, and beryllium is having 4 electrons. So in this example, none of the participating atoms have complete octet. Then also BeH2 is a stable molecule. Third example is of boron trichloride. Boron has 3 unpaired electrons. The configuration of boron, its atomic number is a 5 and its configuration is helium, that is 1s2, then 2s2 and 2p1. Clear? So total 5 valence electrons. Out of it, 2 electrons are present in 2s orbital as an electron pair. But when required, this electron can be sent to 2py or 2pz orbital also, which are already vacant. So this is how boron will manage 3 unpaired electrons for bonding. So when it combines with 3 chlorine atoms, here you can see chlorine is having 1 valence unpaired electron, which it will share with 3 unpaired electrons of boron, and that is how each chlorine will complete octet, but boron cannot. So here boron is a central atom and it is having 6 electrons around it. Clear? So though the octet of central atom is not complete, then also it can form stable molecule, that is BCl3. So here we have discussed 3 examples in which the central atom has incomplete octet. Clear? In case of lithium chloride, lithium has incomplete octet, chlorine has complete. So the stable molecule is formed. In case of BeH2, none of the atoms have complete octet, then also stable molecule is formed. Third is boron trichloride, in which the central atom is boron, it has not complete octet, but the 3 chlorine atoms have complete octet, then also the compound is stable. So this is one exception in which the central atom has not complete octet. Second is odd electron molecule. Odd electron molecule means here the octet is not complete, but the number of electron around the atom is odd. It is not even number. Clear? So though it has utilized its valence unpaired electron in bond formation, then also some of its unpaired valence electrons are left behind. Clear? In addition to the paired electrons which are present as lone pair of electron. Clear? So in addition to the lone pairs of electron, there are unpaired valence electrons of the atom which have not participated in the molecule, and then also the molecule is a stable molecule. So here examples are 2. One is nitric oxide, NO. Now here you can see nitrogen. Nitrogen is having 3 unpaired electrons. Clear? Like this. It has got 3 unpaired electrons and 1 electron pair. So this, out of 3 unpaired electron, 2 electrons it has shared with oxygen atom. Clear? So oxygen also, it is having 2 unpaired electrons, so it has shared with nitrogen. So covalent double bond is formed between nitrogen and oxygen. So in doing so, oxygen has utilized both its unpaired valence electrons, but nitrogen has still 1 unpaired valence electron left with it, which it is not utilizing. Clear? So here you can see, if we count the number of electrons around nitrogen, then there is a covalent double bond, means total 4 electrons, then this electron pair, so 6, and this is unpaired electron, so 7. So around nitrogen there are 7 electrons, which is odd number, but oxygen is having 8 electrons. Clear? 2 electron pairs, 2 electrons its own unpaired electron, and 2 electrons it has gained from nitrogen. So total 8 electrons are there around nitrogen. So the octet of oxygen is complete, but nitrogen is having odd octet, odd electron octet. It is having 7 electrons. Even then nitric oxide is a stable molecule. Second example is of nitrogen dioxide, in which nitrogen is a central atom. Nitrogen is having 3 unpaired electrons. So 2 unpaired electrons it will share with this oxygen atom. So 2 unpaired electrons of oxygen will be shared with 2 unpaired electrons of nitrogen, and that is how covalent double bond is formed between this oxygen and nitrogen. Clear? Out of 3 unpaired valence electron, 1 is left over nitrogen. Clear? Then how it has formed bond with this oxygen atom? So for that it has utilized this lone pair of electron. So here in forming bond with this oxygen atom, nitrogen will donate the whole electron pair to oxygen. So this oxygen is not utilizing any of its valence electron. So all 6 valence electrons of this oxygen atom are as it is. In addition to that, it is gaining 1 extra electron from nitrogen. So it has acquired negative charge, and nitrogen has acquired positive charge. So in this compound nitrogen dioxide, which is again a stable molecule, in which the central atom nitrogen, it has odd number of electrons. See, this 2 means double bond means 4 electrons, here single bond means 2 electrons, so 6 electrons, and this 7th electron. So here also central atom has odd number of electron. Even then, though the octet is not complete, the molecule is stable. Third exception is expanded octet. Means sometimes the central atom will expand its octet beyond 8 electrons. Means the central atom will have more than 8 electrons. Clear? This generally happens in the elements of third period, because in third period there is presence of 3d orbital. So that atom can expand its octet, it can expand its valence. Clear? So here the example is PF5, phosphorus pentafluoride. Each fluorine is having 7 valence electrons, out of which 3 are electron pairs and 1 is unpaired electron. So that unpaired electron of fluorine will be shared with phosphorus. Now phosphorus has atomic number 15. So its configuration is neon, then 3s2, 3p3, 3d0. Clear? So by little gain of energy, phosphorus can send its one of the 2s electron to 3d orbital, which is already vacant. So now in the excited state, which is shown by putting asterisk over the atom. So in the excited state of phosphorus, its configuration is 3s1, 3px1, 3py1, 3pz1 and 3d1. So total 5 valence electrons, but all of them are unpaired. So these 5 unpaired electrons phosphorus will share with unpaired electron of 5 fluorine atoms. So while doing so, you can see fluorine has a complete octet. Every fluorine has complete octet. 7 electrons of its own and 8th electron it has gained from phosphorus. But if we talk about the central atom, that is phosphorus, there are 10 electrons around phosphorus. So here the octet of phosphorus, that is central atom, is beyond 8 electron. So this is called expanded octet. So though there are more than 8 electrons around the central atom, but PF5 or PCl5, they are stable molecules. Let us go for the compound of sulfur. Now this is sulfur hexafluoride. Sulfur is having atomic number 12. So like phosphorus, in the excited state, its configuration will become 3s1, 3px1, 3py1, 3pz1, then 3dxy suppose 1 and 3dyz1. So total 6 unpaired valence electrons sulfur is having. So it will share these unpaired electrons with 6 fluorine atoms. So while doing so, every fluorine will complete the octet, but around the central atom, that is phosphorus, you can see it has formed 6 bonds. So 6 2s are 12 electrons are there around sulfur, though this is a very stable molecule. Most common example is of sulfuric acid H2SO4, in which again sulfur is a central atom. The structure of sulfuric acid is like this. Sulfur is attached to 4 oxygen atoms, out of which 2 with 2 oxygen atoms it is attached by covalent double bond, and with the remaining 2 oxygen atoms it is attached by covalent single bond. Now here you can see each oxygen will complete the octet. Oxygen is having 2 lone pairs of electron and 2 unpaired electrons. So here one unpaired electron it will share with this sulfur, and another unpaired electron it will share with hydrogen. So there are 8 electrons around oxygen. Similarly this oxygen. Clear? If we talk about this oxygen, then it has 2 lone pairs of electron, and there is a covalent double bond between oxygen and sulfur. So double bond means total 4 electrons. So this oxygen is having total 8 electrons around it, and similarly this. But what about sulfur? Sulfur has formed total 6 bonds. So 6 2s are 12 electrons are around sulfur. So sulfur has got expanded octet. Even then we know that sulfuric acid is a very stable molecule. So we can say that in the beginning of the topic I told you that octet rule is not a universal rule. Clear? It can explain covalent bond formation in some of the compounds. Clear? But according to octet rule, if the compound is formed, then each participating atom will try to complete its octet and in order to achieve stability. But these are the exceptions in which one or the other atom has not complete octet. Even then the compound is stable. So in these examples octet rule fails. Clear? Another exception, see here I have taken 2 examples of sulfur in which sulfur has expanded octet. But if we talk about this compound SCl2, sulfur dichloride, in which sulfur has 2 bonds with the chlorine atoms, so total 8 electrons, and chlorine also has 8 electrons around it. So here all the 3 atoms have complete octet and they have formed stable molecule. So in some of the cases sulfur can have complete octet, in some cases it has expanded octet. But even then the molecules formed by sulfur are stable. Clear? Another point. These are some important or the other drawbacks or limitations. Now as octet rule is totally based on the inert configuration or the stable configuration of inert gases or noble gases. So all noble gases except helium, because of having 8 electrons in their octet, they are stable, they are inert. It means that they are chemically inactive. They cannot combine with any other element to form a compound. But even then, inert gases like xenon and krypton, they can also combine with fluorine and oxygen in order to form variety of compounds. So here again octet rule fails, that noble gases, though they have complete octet already without forming any bond, also they have complete octet. So if complete octet is there, then the element itself is stable. Clear? Then from stability, how can it form bond with the other elements? Clear? So these are also the exceptions. So xenon and krypton, though they are inert gases, noble gases, they have complete octet. Even then they can form compounds. Clear? So they are not inert so far. Fifth is it does not explain the shape of the molecule. See, sharing of electron, how the electrons are shared, that we can explain. But on the basis of this sharing of electron, on the basis of octet rule, there is nothing mentioned in the octet rule about shape of the molecule. Clear? So in every molecule we can explain the sharing of electron on the basis of octet rule. But using octet rule, that molecule will have what type of geometry, what type of shape, that cannot be predicted. And the last limitation is it does not tell anything about the relative stability, because it has not mentioned anywhere about the energy of the molecule. It has mentioned that the participating elements, they complete their octet, they complete their 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, they achieve inert gas configuration and they achieve stability. But nowhere it has mentioned about energy. Stability is always explained on the basis of energy. Lower is the energy, more is the stability. So if there are some molecules like ozone which have more than one possible structures, then on the basis of octet rule, which structure of ozone will have more stability, that cannot be predicted. So in case of explaining relative stability of the molecule on the basis of energy aspect, octet rule fails. Clear? So these are 6 different limitations of octet rule. You can be asked in 3 marks questions, then you have to write all the limitations, or you can be asked any one of these 3 in a 2 marks question. So you may have to explain giving example that explain limitation of octet rule in case of odd electron molecule, or in case of expanded octet, like that. So in 2 marks question also it can be asked. So this is a very important topic of this chapter. We'll continue with the next topic in the next lesson. Thank you very much.